All right. We're going to be going through routine number 4. Okay, so I got a couple of pieces of equipment, a light plate. This is going to be my barbell, and then you're going to have a light band. So I'm going to put these down. You're also going to need some sort of like bench or step. We'll look into that a little later. So for our kind of warm-up activities. So here's going to be a light mini band. I'm going to put this around your feet, and then we're going to do some lateral toe taps. So there's a bunch of different ways to go through this one. I'm going to show you one variation with kind of 3 different directions, different types of movements that you can do with this. So the big purpose with this is to be able to stand on one leg the entire time. We want to limit the amount of time we're touching the ground, and especially limit the amount of time we're shifting our weight. So we don't want this. This isn't our toe tap. It's one of these. We're going to stand on this leg, just touching to the side. So go to the side, then we go backwards at an angle, and then you're going to do a half moon, I call it. So the foot's going to be forward. You're going to make a big arc back, big arc forward, big arc back, big arc forward. So we're going to do repetitions to the side, straighten the repetitions back, and then those big arcs. And then we're going to go to the other side, do the same thing. So I'm barely touching the floor when I'm doing this motion, and then around. You should feel this in both hips. The focus is to feel it on your standing leg hip, but you're going to feel some on the other hip as well. Okay? So the second warm-up piece, since we're doing some back squats today, is going to be a squat correction. So I've talked a little bit about this with our bodyweight squats and trying not to do this little dip in the pelvis, trying to stay nice and upright. So we're going to use a light plate, a light dumbbell, light kettlebell as a counterbalance, holding it out in front of us, keeping that chest up, working on that pelvic stability. So hold this for a count of 5, stand up. Hold this for a count of 5, stand up, and repeat that. So then we're working on some of that pelvic stability. Okay? So for plyometric, we can do some box jumps. So I don't have a box in here. I'm going to use this chair, but we can go really crazy with box jumps. You can do single leg. You can do double leg to single leg. Just do double leg. You can do jumps down and then back up. We're just going to do regular box jumps up. And step down, up, and step down. We'd like to go for some height here. We're trying to work on that plyometric, trying to work on that force generation. Use what you have. So if you have a regular plyo box, if you're at the gym, that's ideal. If you don't, get a chair, get a couch, use some steps outside. Find something that gives you a decent amount of challenge, but you feel confident and comfortable to be able to do. If you have a soft plyo box, like we do here at the gym, you can push the boundaries a little bit, because if you fail, then you just kind of hit the plyo box. It's soft, it's forgiving. Okay, so that's our plyometric. Next, we're going to do a back squat. So I have a bar here. So this is one where if you have a barbell, it's ideal to use a barbell. If you don't have a barbell, we can do a goblet squat variation instead. But getting to a weight room, getting access to a barbell, getting access to heavy load is ideal, right? Running and athletics in general is all about generating force. We're trying to impose force in the ground to help drive us forward. To do that, we've got to train our bodies to generate that force, and using, this isn't a barbell, but for demonstration, using weights as overload is what helps us to do that. Okay, so it's really important to get some overload, but if you can't get it, then we can modify. So with a barbell, we're gonna pretend I've got the actual bar, I've got some weights on here. We're gonna take it off the rack, take a couple steps back, and then just go down as deep as you can in a controlled manner. We worked on our pelvic positioning with that squat correction. So we're gonna go down. If you can tolerate being all the way down and up, great. If you get to here and up, that's totally fine. Some people like to rotate their feet out a little bit. That's okay. Some of that might be an anatomical variation that you have. Some of that's just going to be your normal motor control. It's just your coordination. If you can keep those toes forward and go down and up, great. If you have to rotate out a little bit, that's fine too. Okay? 5 reps. So we're doing heavier weight, lower reps. You are not going to put on muscle mass doing this. Okay? This is to help generate force, help generate some power. You run too much, you don't need enough to gain on a lot of muscle mass. So really important. If you don't have that, I got my weight back here, one sec. You can use a dumbbell or a kettlebell Got a light dumbbell here. It's not perfect. I like to be heavier. Hold in the goblet position, up and down. Same sort of thing. If you don't have one of these, throw some books in a backpack. Wear that backpack. Some other way to get some load. Okay, so that's our main strength movement for the day. Next is our accessory movements, right? It's going to help us be successful. Accessory movements if you want. One of them is an elevated bridge hold. So I take a little step, get down in a bridge. This is going to work the hamstrings. So ideally, this is pushed against the wall so it doesn't move when I do this. But you raise up, a lot of hamstring load. Start with double leg, progress to single leg. The further away from the box you are, the more you're going to get in the hamstrings, but you can't lock out your knees. You've got to be able to have some knee bend and focusing on this. Same thing as we've done previously, moving the hands up is more challenging. Okay? So from one hamstring hip exercise to another, we're going to do a single leg hip thrust. So this again is another one where you're going to want a chair, you're going to want a box, you're going to want a bench, maybe a couch, something like that you can put your shoulder blades on and then go through this movement. This ideally is pushed against the wall. You'll probably see I move it back a little bit. But position you get in is your shoulder blades are just on the edge. I have people start this with both feet down and then progress to single leg. I'm already pushing it back. Progress to single leg to get some control over it. So you should be looking at the ceiling when you're in this tabletop bridge position. You should be looking straight ahead when you're in the bottom. It is up and down. Your trunk stays upright. It is not this. You can see my back here. I'm arching my back. I'm looking straight up the whole time. It is nice, sturdy upper body, firm frame. Sorry, I'm holding myself on so the chair doesn't rotate. And like that. So it should be a hip hinge. You should feel this in your glutes, feel it in your hamstrings. It's not a back exercise, okay? You should basically be bending and folding in half and then coming back up to that nice tabletop position. So start with double leg. Ideally, we're gonna work to a single leg here and then down and up. Core stays nice and tight. You see a table moving. If your core lets go, you're gonna start arching that back. Not what we want to be doing, okay? 5 reps on each side. We'll go back and forth. Next one's going to be our upper body movement. We're just doing push-ups. Everybody's done push-ups. Do them however is easiest for you. And you can get your push-up position and you do more triceps to the side, fine. Diamond, wide grip, normal. You're doing them from your knees, decline. Doesn't matter. I'm not worried about how challenging you make them or what variation you're doing. Just get some upper body work in just to keep that snowballing, okay? And then the next piece we're gonna be doing, I forgot, so let me look quick. Yes, so this one, we're gonna need a box for. I'm gonna use this one here and a light band. So this is a more challenging exercise. We're doing a 4-way step down routine. So you put the band on, you're gonna do 4 different movements in this one exercise. So I put the band on, I stand up, hips are staying nice and level the whole time. I'm going to start by 10 kicks out to the side. I'm not reaching over this way. I'm staying nice and level, kicks to the side. Only reason we're doing the kicks is to preload the system. So you kind of induce a little bit of fatigue before you do the next ones. So you did your 10 kicks, take your band, put that away, stand back up, and now we're going to do a lateral step down to the side, hips nice and level, knee going straight forward, trunk upright, down and up. I'm just going to go down and up. A lot of people will try to go as far down as they can, and they'll do this knee caving in, trunk bending forward. I want you to go down as far as you can while keeping this optimal mechanics. Knee forward, hips level. We don't go knee forward, drop with that hip. We don't want this hip to be hiking. We want those hips to stay level, knees to go forward, okay? So the first one you do, leg kicks to the side. Second one, straight down. Third one, leg goes behind you and down. Fourth one, leg kicks to that curtsy lunge to that opposite corner and goes down. This one's harder from a balance perspective, but you're gonna do repetitions in each one after another, then switch legs. If you're doing this on a staircase, you're not gonna be able to face the same direction each time, right? So if we think that the staircase is going up that way, right, I have a railing here if I need it, kick it off to the side, straight down. I go up the staircase, back, and then I can kick my curtsy in, okay? So that's routine number 4. Any questions, as always, shoot me a message, send me a text, call, email, and we'll get you taken care of.